I think one of the biggest challenges that business analysts have is defining how much of the scope do they want. How much of the toolbox am I going to use? Where do I want to start? And I would not recommend business analysts to go from 0 to full throttle.
Yeah.
That will only create challenges for the people trying to execute it, and also create a huge amount of resistance within the organization. Like with everything, these staff positions need a strong supporter, an accountable executive, a sponsor, who gives them protection, gives them freedom of working, gives them a clear way of saying, "Listen, I have your back. Do this." I will say this: I think, as with so many things in project management, business analysts are kind of those odd roles out often in the beginning that kind of have to endear themselves to the environment, and they endear themselves by not coming in and say, "Hey, I'm in charge." They endear themselves by saying, "Hey, listen, I'm going to do an elicitation workshop with you. I'll help you. Okay? I'll cover this. I'll help you with the documentation. I'll help you with the tracking. You know what? I'll be the independent person who validates your deliveries and also backs you up towards the business managers and sponsors. If the sponsors say, "Yeah, but that's not what I wanted," the business analyst says, "No, this is what we agreed upon. Okay, if you want a change request, we can deal with it." But creating that administrative backbone that also protects the project manager. That's kind of that additional function.
So, but now maybe our listeners got some ideas now about the business analysis. Maybe some of them say, yes, it's quite cool, a lot of tools, and I like the concept of really understanding the needs. How to convince now a managing director, a CEO to say, yes, it makes sense to work onto these formalized processes, to these formalized approaches, because, I don't know, maybe organizations for 100 years didn't have a business analyst, and they're still successful.
I just recently got contacted by a company in Switzerland who says, "You know what? We've been doing projects. We're a mid-sized company. We have a lot of contracts coming in, but now and we've been doing fine with an informal way of working." Okay, I love to call it the anarchic agility of that whole process, right? Which is great. It's exhilarating, it's fun, and a lot of it is common sense. The projects are of a moderate size. They're not that many people. We know each other. So that's informal way of working that works. They came to me, and this is you've heard this 100 times as well, if not more. There's certain companies that come to you and say, "Listen, we've tried it that way for long, and it worked. But now we're coming to a breaking point where the volume of our projects, the demands of our clients, the complexity of the requirements of the number of stakeholders is exceeding our skill set." So an informal way of working where every project manager literally does his or her project the way they want
is gone.
Is no longer efficient. So that the first stage would be to go into a more uniform process.